Well, even though it's a sunny day, it's cold outside, and anything and everything we wanted to try and get done for, you know, early spring, that's not going to happen. So, today, we're going to cook. So first things first, as I'm going to make some rhubarb compote, because we're making a no-bake cheesecake today. There we go. Barely enough water in there to, you know, do much. We're going to start cooking this down, and then we'll make the cheesecake. Woohoo! Alright, apron is on because I'm using the mixer, and you know I'm going to make a mess. We get to use the new mixer. Alright, now I've always actually wanted a mixer with these kind of beaters, so I'm really hoping that it works as well as everyone says it should. So, as soon as I figure out how to put them in. Oh, there we go. Well, this is nifty. Okay, so you can't actually put these in the wrong slot either, apparently. So apparently they're not interchangeable. They go in one slot only. Well, that's kind of nifty. So what I had to do when I looked up this recipe, I actually had to look up for the equivalence of an 8-ounce package of Cool Whip for Canadian, because I had no idea. So apparently 8 ounces, an 8-ounce container of Cool Whip, so this stuff, is about 3 cups for measurement. So that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so we've got 2 blocks of cream cheese. These are 2 different kinds, but cream cheese is cream cheese. There we go. 1 cup of sugar is what it says. So we'll add a cup of sugar. I'm gonna have to fill up my sugar bucket. Now the recipe says a teaspoon of lemon juice is optional, but it also says that lemon juice also helps firm it up. So we're gonna add the lemon juice. And a little bit of vanilla. We're going for the good stuff. A little bit of Watkins. Alright. Time to test the mixer. Wow. Definitely a lot quieter than the old one. Okay, so I can safely say I really like this new mixer. I seriously understand the design and the reason, and I have to admit I really quite like it. So now it's time for the Cool Whip. So now I'm gonna go, I want to kind of lighten it up a bit, so I'm gonna put 1 cup in and mix it, and then we'll fold in the rest. Slightly off recipe. Yell at me later. Alright, ready? There we go. Just kind of want to lighten it up a little bit. Clean off the beaters. There we go. Okay, 2nd cup. Alright, there's the 2nd. And 1 more cup. I haven't done a no-bake cheesecake actually like this in a very, very long time. Like seriously a very long time. And then that last little bit, what I couldn't quite measure. There we go. All right. And now it says just cold in the Cool Whip. Should have used the other spatula. Ugh. Oh well, live and learn. Here, do I have that mixed in? Let me get some sunshine. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah, I cheated. I bought a crust. It's the same crust we bought a couple weeks ago. And now it's plunk in the cheesecake. There's a lot of cheesecake in here. All right. So, note to self, instead of following the recipe, maybe do half the size in the future. That's okay. Fluffy cheesecake. Or I could just make a crust, I suppose, and put it in one of the like 9x13 pans or something. That would work, wouldn't it? There we go. All right. In the fridge it goes to set. Put a little bit more over here. There's a little bit left. Snack time. All right, I'm gonna put this in the fridge and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I cleaned up the cheesecake. The rhubarb has had a chance to really kind of cook, so now it's time to add sugar. So that's like 1/6 of a cup, so a little less than 1/4. We're going to start cooking it with that first. Whoops, making a mess. Let's try that actually. All right, let's see if that's sweet first. Tiny bit more, not much. So about another tablespoon. There we go. So now this is slowly going to cook. I want it to reduce quite a bit. And then dessert for tonight will be done. Yay! I had a record fail. So what I have in here, guys, is the last of the kale. That was from the garden, and a little bit of the Swiss chard. I cut up 3 of the garlic scapes from the freezer and 2 cloves of garlic. So this is going to be a very garlic heavy kind of meal. I sauteed it with a little bit of oil and butter. And then I added some lemon juice to it as well. This is now all done. And I'm going to let it get cold for dinner. I know it's quite a few hours until supper time, but that I want to get cold. Get it done, get it out of the way. And I also didn't add any salt to it because we're going to be using feta cheese in our dinner. And believe it or not, the feta cheese goes with that kale / chard. Normally I use spinach, but I wanted to use those up because they are older. Anyway, to get back to the point, I'll be using feta cheese, so I'm not going to add any salt to the veggie. So, all right. I'm on a bit of a standstill. It's a sunny day. It's cold out. We might try and get some stuff done outside today. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Well, it is sunny. Ground is still too hard to do anything, but we've been busy. I'll show you what we're doing here in a while.
It's actually the stronger that
We're getting there. 2 shelf rows up. Lots and lots of pieces. Right, Freddie? Lots of bits. So we are missing a piece. This one of these that goes here, which may have fallen out of the bag. So we're on the hunt. See if we can find it. But so far so good. Yay! Have you guessed what it is yet? Alrighty. We're gonna go to the nursery to see if one of these might have got dropped. So hopefully we can get one. Check it out. We bought it February 1st. The piece fell out of the bag. Yay! Haha! Now we can put this guy together the rest of the way. All right, last 2 pieces. I think this is a big enough greenhouse, guys. We're not going to put the cover on. We're just going to tie it down. Make sure it's all ready to go. All nice and tight, Freddie?
Yeah.
Yay! Now we just got to tie it down. Oh, look at that. You wiggled it right apart. Okay. Now we got to move it this way. All right, we decided to move it. Now, the good thing is the wind will come up and over because it is pretty breezy coming across the front. We have it tied in 3 corners. This one's a little bit out of whack, but we'll put some weight down at the bottom. Same with this corner, it's not actually going to be tied down. So we'll put a piece of wood and some weight in the corner. But yeah, there we go. Almost have the whole thing up. Oh, alrighty. Now it's time to go and finish making dinner. So I went to Walmart. I just needed Tylenol. So of course I wandered. I found 2 pork tenderloins on double discount. Regular price, $10.04. I paid $5.65. So this is what we're making for dinner tonight. Now, first of all, there's garlic and kale on this thing. I'm not that worried about it because it's going in the meat anyway. So this little piece, it's not going to go to waste. I'll turn that into a sandwich. So what I do for this is I'm going to slice this around and around and around and hope that I get a good spiral out of it. Probably not, but we're going to try. That way. That one's a little thick. That's okay. We'll just trim it that way. And then I want one more. Like that. There we go. It's not perfect, but it'll work for what we're doing. Ta-da! So there's our cold kale, onion, garlic and lemon juice mix. And here's the feta cheese. First things first is I'm going to put all this in the pork. Mostly on this side. There we go. So now I call this my Greek-inspired pork tenderloin because I ain't Greek. I definitely don't know how to cook Greek, but it uses Greek feta cheese and a lot of garlic and lemon, so I'm just faking it out. All right, and now the cheese. Oh, look at that. But I really love feta cheese, and there's a couple of salads that we make that I put feta cheese in. My mother, she doesn't like feta cheese. I made a salad once and she took all the cheese out. It's actually kind of funny. There we go. But this is the reason why I didn't put any salt in the kale. All right, so now this one does have a hole, but that's okay. All right, give it a bit of a roll up, just like that. Now, I'm going to go and get some, there we go. I'm going to go and get the pokies. Toothpicks! And we'll poke this guy together. Now, of course, normal people would use, twine. But I don't have any. And I keep telling myself to get some. But I never do it. Because, that takes forethought. Which apparently I don't have. There we go. All right, let me tidy this up a bit. Gonna get the baking tray ready. And then I'll show you how the rest of this is done. And now we're gonna get it nice and brown. Ta-da! There we go. I'm gonna have to seriously clean the entire stovetop, of course, again. Not a ton of color, but kind of enough to help hold it together now. There we go. On the sheet pan, I've oiled up a sweet potato to go with it, and these are gonna be in the oven for about an hour. Most of the dinner is ready. So, here is our little rolled up pork dinner. I'm gonna see if I can get the toothpicks out. Let go. Oh, that one broke. Oops. All right, let's see. Come on. Get. All right, it still broke. All right, so there's part of one in here. We're gonna have to yank it. There we go. There it is. Same as this one. I should have put them all in up and down. Probably would have been easier to get them out. Arg. And the last one. All right. Woohoo. All right, so this is what it looks like inside. You ready? Now, it got a little bit more crusty on the outside than I would have thought it would, because I did cook it with the sweet potato. Whoops. There you go. All that nice kale and the cheese. Oh, doesn't that look good? Now the sweet potato, he's completely cooked, so I'm gonna peel him. Cooked a whole bunch of peas and carrots, but dinner is ready to go. So we're gonna eat, and then I'll show you dessert here in a minute. Well, maybe an hour. I guess I didn't cut it quite enough. There we go. Come on, out you get, out you get. There we go. No baked cheesecake. Gonna use this instead. There we go. And here's our rhubarb, guys. This was our day. I hope all you guys had a great day too. We'll see you next time as we do our simpler life here on PEI. Bye for now.